Hello, my name is Cyril Jacob Joseph, and the date today is December 5th, 2023, and this is my lab on sun printing for skin cancer. So, what is skin cancer? Skin cancer is a type of cancer that develops in the skin cells and often arises from prolonged exposures to ultraviolet rays from the sun. So, what are the symptoms, causes, and risk factors associated with skin cancer? Well, symptoms include changes in skin appearance, such as new growths and moles, and causes are primarily UV light exposure, just as we talked about. And the risk factors are skin that is less melanated, which appears as fairer skin, and a history of sunburns and genetic predisposition. So, how can we avoid skin cancer? Well, we should wear sunscreen and wear protective clothing and avoid times in the day where there's peak sunlight UV radiation.
We've gathered the lab materials now. And now we draw 3 5x5 centimeter squares on the sunburn paper. And now we're going to cut the squares that we just drew out. Using our sharpener marker, we labeled this bag Control SPF 50, SPF 30. And I've labeled 3 resealable bags with a Control SPF 50, SPF 30. And now we put each of the cut squares that we just cut into the Ziploc bag. And now I have put each of the squares into the bags that we just drew on. And we're going to use each sunscreen and cover each of the respective sunprint papers while leaving nothing, adding nothing to the control. And now we're going to go outside and lay these 3 bags outside and use a timer to time 5 minutes. And then we're going to add water into our bags. And we're going to wait for 30 seconds after adding the water. And after we have waited for 30 seconds, we then take our sunprint paper out of the bag. We did the same with the SPF 30. Then after taking out the sunprint paper, we are going to store these in a cool and dark environment. All right, and now after taking out the sunprint paper, we're going to put these in a cool, dark environment and store it until they're dry. Now, after storage, we can now make our observations. Our control factor is the most blue. Our SPF 30 is a little less blue with more white on it, and our SPF 50 is less blue than the SPF 30 with the most white on it.
And how might the effects of UV be avoided? Well, you could use broad spectrum sunscreen, which, stronger SPF sunscreen, wear hats and sunglasses, and avoiding tanning beds. And this experiment ultimately displays the UV protection efficacy, right? The sunburn paper darkens when exposed to UV rays, and the control will be the darkest, showing full exposure. And the SPF 30 and SPF 50 was the ones that were the lightest, and the SPF 50 being the most lightest, which just shows how UV blocking does occur with these SPF sunscreens. So it really visually puts us in perspective of how we can avoid skin cancer using UV protection lotion.